Good Thursday evening. Welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies Thursday Night Throwdown, presented by the Sideline Junkies. Can be heard on Anchor FM, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes Podcast, Google Podcast, Google. What's the other one? We can be heard everywhere. We got 19 stations. I'm sorry, 22. And we also got Don's favorite podtail because he's always worried about that podtail. So we got that. Joining me tonight is Lady C, the Swamp Queen, and we also have joining the Midnight Rider. So that means we're gonna change up the format a little bit because we got a little something going on. So, first and foremost, like we start off every show, how's everybody feeling?
We're doing good.
Good.
Okay,
Ben?
next 3 days, I'm good.
Yes, lucky you. Some of us got to get up early in the morning, so Ben,
still got to get up. Don't mean I ain't. Hell, I got a kid. I got to get him off to school.
'Tis true. So, Midnight Rider, I'm going to give you the floor for first segment, MLB Playoffs. You are the expert. I wanted to talk to you about Aaron Judge, but we're going to leave that out. MLB Playoffs, take it away.
We can do whatever, for real. Baseball playoffs starts a unique format this year where they're having the full wild cards. So it's 3 wild card teams, and the lowest division team playing a 3-game series. All 3 games are at the higher seed's house. So Seattle's at Toronto, and Cleveland's at Tampa Bay is at Cleveland for the American League. And on the National League side, it's the Phillies at St. Louis and the Padres at the Mets. So that's how they're starting it. And then once that 3-game series gets set, then you go to the NLDS where you have the Dodgers, the Braves, the Yankees, and who am I missing? The West team. I just drew a blank. Whoever the West team is that won the division, that's the 4th. So the way they're set up, of course, with baseball is 3-5-7. First round is 3 games, second round 5, the third is 7 games, and then you get to the World Series, which is also 7 games. The key this year, I think, is going to be the first 3 games and how teams come out of that. And what I mean is, normally in the playoffs, you try to line it up so you have your best 3 pitchers going in the first few games of a series. And with this wild card, that's going to kind of throw a wrench in that plan a little bit because teams like to bring a guy back to pitch and relief sometimes to help win a series. And right now, with this new 3-5-7 format, I think that's going to change and make teams, you're going to have to be very deep in pitching. So I like teams like Cleveland. I like Houston. Actually, that's who I have in the ALCS, Cleveland and Houston. That's the West team I couldn't think about. On the National League side, I have St. Louis, and I have not the Mets. Who's down there with them? I'm drawing a blank this evening. Let me pull it up real quick because I got it here on my screen. But beyond that, I think I have Houston in the World Series and the Dodgers. There we go. Houston and the Dodgers in the World Series. Hey, man, I know you got that face because you're a Yankees guy. If Severino was more consistent, I would give you that. But you got Garrett Cole. You traded your best 4th pitcher, Jordan Montgomery, to St. Louis, who's having a renaissance in St. Louis. Come on, talk to me.
The simple fact that you don't have my Yankees in the World Series, as long as there's pinstripes, the Yankees own the World Series. Number one. Number 2, they have been favored since the first half of the season to be World Series bound. Now, my thing is, being a Yankee fan since I started watching baseball right before the strike in '94, and being a Yankee fan since then, watching this team consistently win. You don't just go to the World Series just to get there and say, "Ho hum, we there." We go there, kick the door down, take what we want, win, and then go home with another trophy. So, we're not coming there just to say, "Hey, we made it." Nah, that's not the end goal. The end result is hanging another banner. We will hang another banner after this is all said and done.
So then you definitely don't like my bracket, because I think I have Cleveland winning the first round series and then Cleveland knocking the Yankees out, because I think that young team is just gonna get hot and they're gonna run right through y'all.
You think the Guardians can do something with us? The Guardians?
Yeah. And see, you know what? Anybody that knows me that watches us is gonna also say that used to be my baseball team before the Nationals came around. But yeah, I have the Guardians beating you in 6, and then they go on and lose in 7 to Houston.
Speaking of the Nationals, that's my World Series dream matchup, right?
Yeah, I know. We talked about that, I think, last year on the show.
Dream matchup. I would love to have that, because 2 East Coast teams, and I think I would love to be in a situation financially where I got so much disposable money that I got tickets to every game. So I'm traveling between Washington and New York to hit every World Series game. And I would love that to be my World Series, my first World Series game.
So I think what I did, what was that? The year they went to the World Series, I just had a bet. Like everybody kept saying the Nats aren't going to win. I was like, once they beat Milwaukee in the wild card, I bet every series that they were going to win. I took them for the win. Made a nice little change off of that. And then when the World Series came, I mean, my confidence never wavered. Even when they were down 3-2 and we had to go back to Houston, wasn't worried about it. I just knew. It's one of those things you could just feel. And it was just like in the air. It was in the atmosphere that they were going to take it. Lady C?
Yeah, I'm not a big baseball person.
Okay. Just don't root for the Yankees and you're good.
Root for the Yankees and you won't have no heartbreak.
When's your last chip?
Like back in high school, I used to watch the Braves. I was a big Chipper Jones fan. And then it just kind of fell off from there. A-Rod, just kind of really fell off from there. So you're speaking Greek at this point.
I'm sorry.
I've not watched a baseball game since my kid played T-ball.
Okay.
Yeah. About 5 years ago. So, yeah, I'm just enjoying this though. Go ahead, continue.
So we can put her down and make her a de facto Yankee fan. Thank you. We just added another one. Welcome to a winning squad.
If anything, she root for the Braves again.
Before I choose anything, I'm going to do my homework. So
I did it for you. Don't worry about it.
No, negative.
I did the research. I did it for you.
Person.
Negative goes right. No. I got to weigh my options. This girl got options.
Okay, options.
But yeah, I think the good thing for Major League Baseball is this. I think these series start tomorrow night. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I've been trying to give up a day of the week all week this week. But yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think they have them staggered schedules as well, starting at 12, going until 7. They may even have a cross where some game will end and the other one will be beginning at 2:30, 3 o'clock. So it's a nice, fun thing if you're a baseball fan. You don't want to move from in front of your TV. So I know tomorrow at work probably be less productive than normal because I'm gonna have my MLB TV on, and if I can't get it there, I'm gonna have it on Stream East. Thanks to B on that one. That's been the pull of the year, if I can say so.
I'll watch for the mascots. I like the Phillies, the mascots.
See, when it comes to mascots in sports, it goes the Phoenix Suns gorilla, Benny the Bull. Of course, Benny the Bull is my favorite. G Wiz, then the Philly Fanatic.
Well, he doesn't even make the most money. Benny the Bull.
No, he doesn't. No, he don't. I think he's like number 4.
Yeah, I think the Denver, whatever that Denver thing is,
Rocky. Yeah, Rocky. Yeah, Mountain Lion.
He makes like $625,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's that? 41 nights? Maybe he does some charity events.
And if they got the All-Star game, he does the All-Star game, and then that whole weekend and that whole week.
Right.
But remember the mascots? All the mascots used to come and do the All-Star games.
Right.
Especially the Phoenix Suns gorilla.
That's crazy.
And
man.
who like if they paid like college, like the mascot that I really like to see is the BYU Cougars. I really like their mascot. He dances really well.
They're gonna lose this weekend, so.
Yeah, the game is shit, but the mascot is on point.
No, I'm just messing around because BYU plays Notre Dame this week, so that becomes like a nice little rivalry between me and my boy. He's a BYU fan. I still don't understand it. DC born, Southeast bred, but he said he stayed up late at night and watched West Coast football on like Channel 54, and he was a BYU fan, so he was there for the days of Robbie Bosco and all those guys. So
that's dedication.
Huh?
That's dedication.
Yeah, definitely. But he always liked the passing game. He said the other teams didn't pass enough. So
I still hold a grudge against BYU, right?
Okay.
Ty Detmer, 1990, wins the Heisman Trophy over Rocket Ismail. Biggest train robbery of my lifetime. I still have not gotten over it.
That's second.
What's first?
1993, when Florida State wins the national championship after losing at Notre Dame, and them both finished with the same record, but somehow, because they had to get Bobby Bowden his title, they won the national championship, not Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm. And somehow, some way, but was it 93? Wasn't that? I forget who was it. It had to be 93. I think it was the Sugar Bowl, Alabama. Man, I don't know what it was. I mean, we didn't got off on college football, but I don't know what it was. But that game was just so interesting to me in that Sugar Bowl. And I was like, is this what bowl season is? That was my first real time watching every bowl game. From, we had winter break. Our winter break used to be damn near 3 weeks. And then we had a snowstorm. So we were out for a while, and I watched every bowl game that came on. I don't think I've ever been more in love with football than then.
Every time you say that, that makes me rethink my address. Like,
we don't get those no more. Global warming.
We had a decent one last year, like right around New Year's. That was the day after New Year's. When they tied up the city.
It wasn't good enough for me, but it was okay.
Yeah, no, we get slush and bullshit down here. Like, I'll take that.
I need Blizzard of 96. I needed the snow, an ice storm, then another snowstorm on top of that right behind it. Shut the city down for 2 weeks. I love it.
On that.
But I still got paid. I was out shoveling snow and breaking up ice and everything.
I'd definitely be crying on day 2.
Man, it was so good. We was in the parking lot. Cars couldn't move, so we was in the parking lot playing tackle football because it was a whole pad in the snow. So we was playing tackle football in the parking lot. We had a 100-yard field for real.
Nope.
Loved it.
We're good. So
all right. Next topic.
So let's keep this train rolling.
Question for the whole panel. With what has happened with Tua Tagovailoa against Buffalo, he had the back injury, quote unquote. Then he got knocked loopy the following game against the Bengals, wound up going to the hospital. He's out for this week's game. As bad as that hit really wasn't, but as bad as the damage was. Anytime you see a man laying down, and that's the equivalent of when you what was the player name? He played for the Lions. Really, really good running back.
Utley.
No. It was a player. He played for the Lions. He was a running back a couple years, about 10 years ago.
Come on, Javid Best, probably.
Javid Best. He took that hit and, he was laying there, fist in the air. And he was never the same after that. I think his career maybe lasted 3 years. So he doesn't get a pension.
But his problem was he had concussion issues at California. So he was bringing a history of concussions with him.
But that last hit he took at Cal that knocked him off the rest of the season was the worst one of them all. Like his whole body stiffened up. Yeah. He scored, hung on to the ball. But my question is Tua's playing career over with these 2 back-to-back concussions? And we've seen what concussions can do short-term and long-term. We've seen concussions in careers. We've seen repeated concussions turn into CTE and eventual death. If it's not by suicide, it's basically, a former player is 50, 60 years old with the brain of a 95-year-old Alzheimer's patient. So is Tua's career over is the question. Start with Lady C and we'll finish up with the Midnight Rider.
So I've been following Tua. I've been following this young man since he was Alabama, since he, first stepped into Bama. Roll Tide, by the way. But no. We'll talk about that later. But
I should cut her mic off, but I'm gonna go ahead and chew.
No, you don't want to do that. No, I got backup over there. Don't worry about that. But is it over with? No. Like Tua came to, the NFL with injuries. Like his season ended in Alabama because of a torn ACL, I believe. But as a quarterback, that's the risk that you take. Even as a lineman, you take that risk. So yeah, hip injury. But I don't think his career is over because like we saw, the rigor. I didn't watch the game, but I watched the clips. We saw the rigor that, his body went into with this second one. So pretty sure he's had other concussions, mild maybe. Every player, the whole damn 53 roster didn't had, they didn't got hit and they didn't had some form of a concussion. And I can't say it's over with. I hope it's not over with. Because this young man has a great stride ahead of him. He's got some legs on him. He's still got some little legs in the game, length in the road. So no, I don't think it's over with, but I'm scared. I'm scared for him. Because sometimes, one hit can end it all. You get out there, even at practice, hell, one hit can end it. But this is multiple. We're looking at multiple, at least 2 that we know, 2 hardcore documented hits that, textbook hits that he's had to shake off. I don't see him playing within the next, I think, he may come back probably about week 8. I would say week 8, week 9, maybe. But next season, I guarantee they gonna have some damn airbags in his fucking helmet. Like they gonna make some changes to this. Put some extra styrofoam, wrap them up in some pillows, something. Get some extra bubble wrap in that bitch, something. But no, I don't think it's over with. Praying that it's not over with. Praying for his longevity in his career. Ben, what you got, Ben?
Well, I think first and foremost, the hits he took they weren't really big hits. It was the fact that he got the whiplash effect from his head snapping back and hitting the ground. So that I think made it even more troubling because you saw a delayed reaction from when he hit, and then the second one was just like automatic, and you saw him seize up. In terms of his career, I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna stay where they are going to make a way, or they're going to find a way to kind of hold off on him for a couple weeks, and then bring him back later on. Say bring him back, like you said, week 9, week 10. So that way, it kind of the dust is settled. The world has kind of gotten a chance to have some other things in mind. Maybe something happens in Washington with this Dan Snyder stuff. Something maybe that happens to kind of push him to the back burner, and then they try to sneak him in there and get him to play again. But I know he's definitely playing. I'm not saying I know, but he's going to play again this year, and he's definitely going to play next year. The kid's going to be managing it. And I know the sad thing about it is the next one will be the career ender. So we have to be very careful on that. But if that next one happens, that's the one that at this point, I think we've seen too many and too much in a short period of time. So that's going to be the one that dictates his career from here on out. So just to recap, I think he's going to play again this year. Later on, I wouldn't mind seeing the Dolphins so they don't have to keep answering these questions. Put them on IR. You get 4 weeks off of that. So that way you got a free 4 weeks. And then after that, you can activate them. I think you get 10 or 15 days before you have to play them. So that just buys you time. So Mike McDaniels isn't answering this question every week. Is Tua going to play? Is Tua going to play? Let's take that out of his press conference. Let's take it out of his hands and give this guy a chance to actually coach his team without that distraction. And the worst case scenario, he's just giving you updates on Tua's condition, but you're not worrying about him having to play. KG.
Well, I'm going to say this. Now, granted, Mike McDaniel's the head coach, and I don't think let me rephrase that. He's the head coach. Of course, he's going to have to answer all these questions. He's always going to have to answer this question because that's going to be top priority every chance. I would rather him focus on steering his team and, him and Bridgewater keeping his team rolling because the Dolphins are rolling. I don't want this to be the end of Tua's career. I'm like Lady C. I'm like everybody. I don't want this to be the end of his career. He had that knock on him so long about being fragile and this, that, and the other. And then this happens. And like I said before, we've seen what concussions do. Concussions ended Steve Young's career. And that Steve Young's last concussion was actually an accident. He was already on the ground and somebody slid into him and hit him, and kneed him in the forehead. That last one was accident.
Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman and him being ended by LeVar Arrington. Even as a Redskin fan at the time, I didn't want to see Troy Aikman go out like that. Just like I didn't want to see Michael Irvin go out like that. I got more class than a Philly fan who cheered for it. I was devastated that Michael Irvin went out like that. I really was. Because as much as I hate the Cowboys, I love Michael Irvin. I love the showmanship. And you hate to see a player have to leave the game because of injury, and they can't leave on their own terms. It's devastating. I don't want to see that for this kid because he's just that. He's a kid. He's young. He got a whole career ahead of him. And it's kind of one of them things where you just be like, you know what? We're going to spend the bulk of the money in the offseason putting a line in front of him so he never gets touched. You might have to put a 72 Dolphin line in front of him with Larry Little and Bob Kuchenberg and all those guys. You might have to put that type of line in front of him because nobody really ever got the Greasy. So.
But 72, Greasy wasn't playing that much. That was
that was Earl Moore, yeah. That was Earl Moore. Well, okay, 73, because Greasy played in 73. But 72 was Earl Moore, and I think to jump off on a tangent like we do, I think Earl Moore should be a Hall of Famer based on him being a backup quarterback, and it should be a little section. Him and Frank Wright, two of the greatest backup Hall of Fame quarterbacks in my opinion, at backups. Not because of the overall career, but just what they could come into a game and do, and lead a team and never miss a stride. Those guys, two greatest backups that I've ever seen in my life.
Am I right? I think Earl Moore has 2 Super Bowls. One with Baltimore. Okay, 3. All right. I knew he had 2. The Miami.
One with Baltimore.
All right.
Because he was on the 73 team too.
Okay.
And you know something crazy? I had this autobiography, and it was actually autographed. I moved. I can't find it. I don't know if it's at my mom's house. I cannot find my book. But I read his autobiography, and I was an Earl Moore fan anyway, but the dude, he went through a lot to get to what he got. So, but
only us can go on a tangent on Earl Moore.
Hey, you got to get credit where credit is due. But I don't think
appreciate, you definitely got to appreciate no matter what team you cheer for, what team you put a hex on, whatever, you definitely appreciate the players, all of them. Even though you don't like the politics of one team versus the next, you definitely, you're a football connoisseur, you're an athletic connoisseur. So
that's the word.
The athleticism of all 53, on all 32, like you need it. That's what makes it. That's what gives it its je ne sais quoi. Is that damn all these damn athletes right here. So yeah.
So in closing, is Tua's career over? Nah, but they got to do a better job of protecting him.
Yeah, they're gonna bring him out in the bubble next season. Watch.
Get him one of them bubble balls. That's what I get him one of them bubble balls. So the thing is, if you hit him, he'll bounce, flip up, and be upright, and he's never down. So I can just let him run.
Everybody gonna be out there out there like hamsters.
Put the ball in the little hole, run and go score.
Oh God! All right, man.
Now, this is the part of the show. It's just one question, and this one question is to the Midnight Rider, because we weren't able to do our DC Sports Rundown proper this week. So I had to get up yesterday morning while I was riding. Where did I go yesterday? I was in Hagerstown yesterday.
Okay.
And I had to leave out. So I left out about 5:15. I was like, let me throw something down because I got something to get off my chest. Huh?
Thought you were in Landover.
Yesterday? No. I was in Hagerstown yesterday.
You showed me the field.
That's when I was on my way home.
Oh, well, shit.
I was on my way home. I came back home.
I know where shit is. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Now, I made a statement because I seen something, and they, the fan base is so divided here in Washington. And you got half the fan base is like, it's only week 4. We still got time to turn it around, but we got to get moving now. The other half of the fan base is like, blow this up, forget this season, it's over. So my question to you, Midnight Rider, are we at DEFCON 5 or are we at DEFCON 1? DEFCON 5, it's like Novocaine. Let this season work its way out. Let's do what we got to do, but we got to change something. DEFCON 1, fire Ron, fire Marty Herney, fire the whole coaching staff, trade Terry, blow this whole thing up and start all over. Where are we at here in Washington?
So this is a great question. I think sometimes this fan base gets very schizophrenic, to say the least. Like they don't know what they want. And I think their mood changes with the week. So going to DEFCON 5 for me isn't an option. I've told people before, I think Ron, because I feel like Ron's coaching like he's definitely got 4 years, and he might be as short of 5. And I think this week's little dust up with testimony getting leaked or things getting leaked from Dan Snyder making a statement with Congress and things like that, I think that's the precipice of things going crazy in this team, in this franchise. So from a front office standpoint, I don't think they have any choice but to hold on to Ron because he's the only thing that breeds credibility for this team. So for me, I mean, I'm actually probably at 2 or 1 just because of those facts or those thoughts that I have. I think he's pretty safe. I think the problem he's going to have is if he comes out of this stretch at 1-5, going into I think it's Indianapolis, Philly, and I can't think of the last part of it, but that next 3-game stretch is where it gets tough because there's no gimmies in there. And at this point with this team, I'm at a point where nobody's a gimme. I love listening to other set stations because I was tired of hearing us crying and saying fire Ron, fire everybody. I hopped over to 92.3 in Cleveland so I can hear their misery because I want to see, like, are we as schizophrenic as I think, or is this just normal fan stuff? So I think it's just normal fan stuff. I think fans everywhere have kind of like the same pulse. It's week to week. 1 week you love, like Carson Wentz was America's hero week 1. Then they were like, all right, he ain't America's hero. He might be, I don't know, what's the dude, believe it or not, the greatest American superhero. He might be that after week 2. Now he's a dumpster fire. So, like, he's gone through this transformation. So this week becomes very huge because you got Tennessee on Sunday, and then you have Chicago on Thursday. I think this team circles the wagons because when you get Brian Robinson back, I think there's an element to this offense that they've been dying to get to that they can't get to with Antonio Gibson. I think it's more of a thing for that's why you saw Williams last week. But there's more of a downhill, straight up and down, straight ahead kind of running game that they're trying to get to. So that's why I think I'm at DEFCON 2. I don't think it's as bad, but I think we can get there. I mean, this place is volatile. I mean, we definitely have there's a thing of gasoline and there's a match, and they ain't too far from each other, if I can say it that way.
I'll take that. Because I'm with you. I think the worst thing we could do, and I said this on the last show, if you haven't listened to that, please go back and listen to Wednesday's DC Sports Rundown. It's only about 20 minutes long. But I said that the worst thing we can do is fire Ron, because every time we kind of sort of get something going and it stumbles a little bit, fire. You know, okay, you had to do it with Zorn. When Shanahan was here, things kind of got rocky and rough. You let Shanahan go. Jay Gruden came. We won a division. They didn't really put the players around, and things got rocky and rough.
He got the first second contract.
Yeah.
He got the first second contract in 20 years.
You wound up letting them go. And then you had your next head coach in the building. You went out and got somebody else, because I thought Bill Callahan, he seemed to have a rapport with the guys here because they played different ball. I saw my own eyes.
We gotta take you to America's Best, Lens Crafters. I saw a guy that looked like he had a bedtime of 4 for a 1 o'clock game, so he was just trying to get out of Dodge as quick as possible. Those games were god awful. I literally bet. I think I took Washington's under totals in every game he coached, and I think I hit on like 2 or 3 of them. I think I got robbed in the Jets game because they had like some bogus touchdown with like 10 seconds left. Better's memory, I'm sorry, but it's terrible.
Like, isn't it the same for like all the teams though?
What do you mean?
Isn't like, so you know, you get a coach, you know, you're expected to go, you know, 12-0. You know, you're expecting to hit the season. You're not expected to lose a game. You know, you lose like 3 damn games in a row. They're like, oh shit, his head is on the chopping block. Like, right. They're, you know, gunning for the coach. They're gunning for the QB. You know, like, isn't that pretty much the same for all 32? Like,
it is. Like, the more Like, and maybe it's just because I experiment more. I tend to go places like whenever Philly loses, oh, it's an automatic Monday morning. I'm going to WIP because I want to hear the dude, because at least 3 dudes are saying they on the bridge about the jump. So it's the same. I think some places are more extreme, but I think it's just because we're here and we are saturated with it and we don't have options outside of the same 2 stations, and those 2 stations have similar thought processes. So it's just
No. All 32 teams got the same damn thought process. Like,
No.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with
come
you.
in, all the teams. Like, oh, he should have been fired. Like, why the fuck is he still here? Well, because damn it, he's on contract. He's got tenure. That's why he's still here. Like
My best friend
buyout is more like that. That's where we're at.
My best friend, I watch Pittsburgh games with him most of the time, and if you hear him talk about Tomlin, you would think Tomlin's record was 3-13. Meanwhile, Tomlin hasn't had a losing season ever. So trust me, I see the ups and downs. I just think it's a pure thing of fandom, and then the fact that fans have so much access now. Like us, we're doing a podcast right now. Everybody has a forum to get their voice out, so it's just easier for us to have people saying what they feel, what they're thinking, and letting out their frustration. And I think the one thing for me that makes me at DEFCON 2 is 2 words. It's Dan Snyder. I just don't trust him to get it right. I mean, seriously, for 23, 24 years, he's said, no, I don't want to get a normal I don't want a normal structure. I don't want a GM in place. Then he hires the coach. Anytime we've gotten a GM, the coach has been in place and he's pushed the GM on him. Or he gave the coach all autonomy. And that's the problem. It's like I don't have enough faith in him to get it right. So I'm in no hurry for him to fire the coach or anything like that, because then it's going to be another bad decision. The worst thing that happened.
I'm gonna take it to the extreme here. Shit, the root of it all is Goodell. Just fire his ass and we'll start the fuck over.
They're not going. Goodell takes the bullets for everybody. Like, he comes out and just like they want him. That's why he gets paid $47 million. Is he comes out from the Super Bowl? He comes out at the beginning of the year. He has that State of the Union speech, that press conference. He gets roasted. He says nothing. He dances around every question. And then he goes back in the room and they're like, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Roger. Good job. Here's your money and be happy.
Yeah, I got a couple of bullets he can take, but they're hollow points. So, that's a different question.
Hey, I don't know if we want to admit to like trying to kill the commercial on radio, on the show, but hey, okay.
I just said I had a couple. Like, I could hand them to him. Like, here you go. Who said that?
Got you.
Let me say this. And you said something about Dan and this team and not having a structure, because when he wanted a traditional structure, and he said this in, I think it was Marty Schottenheimer's Football Life. I didn't want to fire Marty. I just wanted to separate the head coach and the front office. I wanted to separate it. Why? This man was 0-5. He went 8-3 the rest of the way, and he was starting to get going with it. I'll never forget that season because I was like, what is Marty doing? This is not Marty ball. What are we doing? What are we doing? Then when it started rolling, and he said, now we fucking rolling. That's all Marty said. And I was like, I'm hooked. Let's do it. What did he do? He let Marty get out of town. Where did Marty go? Marty went to San Diego and built the winner.
So the whole kicker behind that, you got to remember, that was the big sports talk conversation was Jimmy Ray. Jimmy Ray was the worst. If you listen to DC, Jimmy Ray was the worst offensive coordinator in the world. He had no creativity. He never made adjustments. Tell me if this sounds familiar. He doesn't know how to get the max out of his players. The offense is old. It's stuck in prehistoric times. And I think the kicker was he wanted him to get rid of Jimmy, and Marty wasn't getting rid of Jimmy. And I think that became the ultimate. That and the control piece were the 2 ultimate things that got Marty out of here.
Oh, but don't forget this part. What's the old boy name? Serrato. Marty banned Serrato from Redskin Park.
Right.
He told him, "Don't bring your ass around here. I don't want you around here. Get the fuck out. You're fired." Right after he fired Marty, what did he do? He brought Vinny Serrato back. The whole time Vinny Serrato was here, that was Dan's boy. That was his butt buddy. One good draft, and I think that was the 2010 draft with Fred Davis. What was the boy?
That draft was terrible.
They called that the best.
Devin Thomas in the first. You drafted Malcolm Kelly. You drafted Fred Davis. So you drafted. You haven't drafted a defensive lineman in like 10 years up to that point. Your last lineman you drafted was Kennard Lane. There was a defensive lineman on the board by the name of Calais Campbell. Both times we drafted, we took Devin Thomas and Malcolm Kelly over him. There's probably more that I can pick from that situation. But Calais Campbell, I was screaming at my TV. I'm sorry, you touched the nerve. I apologize. Hit a button. Hit a button. My bad.
This is the reason why I say this, because everybody hyped up this draft, and I'm like, what did we get out of this draft?
Nothing.
Devin Thomas was good, but he was a head case. Malcolm Kelly never played. Fred Davis was a weed head. He couldn't stop smoking. He got Trent Williams in trouble. So I was always mad at Fred Davis. But I can't remember who else is in that draft. But this is the best draft Serrato has had. But they produced nothing. And that's saying something. If that was the best draft that Serrato has had, that's saying something. Don't you think?
I think. Hold on. Now you got me thinking, because I think they actually traded out of the first round for this draft, and they had 3 second-round picks. And that's how that thing went. It was, that's exactly what it was. It was 3 second-round picks. Oh my gosh. Yeah, all right. Let's go.
But they called that the best draft up until that date. Now it was like, y'all are motherfucking crazy. Because we got no productive. Fred Davis is cool. He was supposed to be a smaller version of Vernon Davis. Never showed up. Malcolm Kelly never played. I think Malcolm Kelly played maybe 1 game. Devin Thomas was better on Madden than he was in real life. I put him in a slot and just threw the ball deep to him. Soon as his contract was up, see you. I let him go. I found me another.
I think he ended up with the Giants and had like 2 punt return touchdowns or kick return touchdowns. And that's pretty much it. I'm sorry.
Like I said, no, I'm agreeing with you with that. You can't call that the best draft if any Serrato had, because it's nothing that was produced out of that. Now, you look at what we've done under Daniel Snyder, and it got to start from the top. If he fires Ron Rivera now, like, dude, you are shooting yourself not only in the foot, you're Cheddar Bob, you're shooting yourself in the dick. That's what you're doing.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
I mean, but that's it. If he fires Ron Rivera right now, that's what he's doing.
But see, the other problem I have,
we driving to the hospital, we looking back, oh shit, he shot his dick off. Yes, he did.
But the question I have next is, who's the interim? You going with January Jack?
My point exactly. Everybody's talking about fire Ron. I'm like, who you gonna replace him with? Who gonna finish out the season? Who gonna finish out the season? Who gonna come in here next season and try to clean up the mess that they just made by firing Ron Rivera?
Right.
Now, if you fire Ron Rivera as the head coach, are you gonna fire him over the front office as well?
You got to.
Because you can't have one without the other.
Right.
All right, put a pin in that. We're gonna put a pin in that because we about to make some points, and I know we're gonna piss some people off. But since we talk about Washington, let me say this before we move on to our last topic. It's a song out there. It's the Washington Commanders song by DJ Woody. I know DJ Woody personally, and I'm going to say this. Everybody, you got some people that like it, some people that don't. But it has made it to national media. It was on the Pat McAfee show. And big shout out to DJ Woody, my man, my DJ. It don't matter if they talking positive, they talking negative, they talking about you, and it's good. I love it. I love the song. Of course, that's my man's. I'm gonna support him regardless. But the song is fire. I told him already. I said I want to hear that played in the stadium. I need to hear that. It's better than that Hail to the Commanders bullshit they trying to pull. But dude, you made it the national media, and I love it.
So Denver and Indianapolis, right?
Don't be a hater. Yeah, Denver.
I'm sorry, bro. That's your man's. I'm gonna say no comment.
Hey, I'll take that over the bullshit they try to force on us.
Well,
I mean, here's my thing.
See, here we go. We back to the Washington schizophrenia. So the bullshit was the first thing fans all said with the name change. Oh, don't change the colors. Don't change this. Give us this. Blah blah blah. Then when you got it, you're like, oh, this is some trash. No, yes, it's a new song because you changed a couple words, but it's this. Like I had somebody, the run score points, let the points soar. That part of the song that nobody knows, everybody just go no. That part of the song. Somebody actually was like, "Yo, those lyrics are terrible." I was like, "Yo, they've been the lyrics since forever. Like they didn't change that." That run past them, whatever it is, because during that part I was like, you know, I was waiting for the next fight for ODC, rah. But seriously, like, I don't know, man. Then they don't change the colors, but I'm sorry, I like all three of the jerseys. I've been down for the jersey change for at least 20 years. I was tired of the traditional. I'm sorry, I'm a jersey guy. That's me. I like jerseys. I got a bunch of jerseys right here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Well, it's one jersey that I wish they would have came out with, and it was a Color Rush gold jersey with the burgundy number, so it was all gold, and it was like a really really bright gold. And I was like, yo, we gotta wear that. We gotta wear that. Never wore it. They never unveiled it.
I think because they kept picking that terrible Florida State Goodwill giveaway jersey to wear for homecoming with the ugly helmets. Yeah.
Oh, with the faux leather helmets.
The gold, yeah.
Yeah.
They should have left that. They should have left that at Goodwill where they found them, man. That and the ones with the arrows on the side and the arrows on the jersey.
You talking about the
75th anniversary one?
Yeah, the 70th anniversary.
Yeah. I think I could have cleaned my car tires with those, man.
I wasn't a fan of those jerseys at all. I wasn't a fan of that uniform.
Yeah,
but
you're not a jersey connoisseur then, like, because you're supposed to, whether you like it or not, you're supposed to get it and keep it, in your collection.
It's trash, no. I don't get trash.
It doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter.
It's a nice one.
You're not a connoisseur.
I got one of those too. What's in your background? That New Orleans?
What's my back?
I got me a New Orleans jersey.
Good. You got good taste, obviously. So, I mean, you're not completely brain dead. So I'm just saying. But no, you're supposed to keep them. You're supposed to keep it in the collection. Like, you got to have you got to have that needs to be something like in your man cave. Like you have to have every one.
Well, you know what? My first jersey was a Theismann jersey. And then I got one when I was an adult. My mom got me a Ray Lewis jersey. So I had a black Baltimore jersey. Everybody's like, you a Ravens fan now? Nah, I'm a Ray Lewis fan. Like, come on now. I was like, Baltimore's black jerseys, like their black uniform hit harder than anybody other than the Saints all black jersey, all black uniform that they wore back in like 06.
Yeah.
That black Baltimore drink.
If the Saints wear the all blacks with those black matted helmets, that's gonna shock the world, man. That's the only one I'm waiting on. Yeah, I'm waiting on that.
That's gonna be sick.
Now we got a game tonight.
I like kind of like the shiny though. Like I'm not too big on. I'm not too sold on the mats. Like, it's okay. But like if I see it all together, I'll probably be like, okay, yeah, that's dope. I can do it.
Because you just black it out. Come with the black sleeves underneath with the black jersey, the gold number. Oh man, you get the black and gold shoes. I'm sorry.
I just have a problem with all black today because hell, I was walking around like damn Secret Service burning the fuck up down here. That's all.
Oh, okay.
We got a game tonight. It's coming up. It should be starting in about 15 minutes. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Denver Broncos. Denver's 3.5 point favorites. Over under is 41.5. Start with Lady C. Then we'll finish up with the Midnight Rider, and I'll give my short take on this one because this is like a snooze fest. But have at it.
I'm gonna keep this short. I don't know. I don't know what in the world Russ is doing now. Like, baby, what's going on? What you got? I don't even know how to call this. I'm gonna just side with whatever they pick. They're calling for. I mean, I'm gonna still work with my boys. I'm gonna go ahead and it's Russ. It's the hair for me. I'm gonna pull it for him. It's the hair for me. That's it. That's all I got. Pull it for Russ just because of the hair. Yeah. And Sierra, I like her twerking. Yeah. That's it. Total no comment on this. Total bullshit. You're welcome.
Yo, why do I always follow her after she does this, man? Last week it was AB and his. Well, don't even need to bring that back up. And then this week I got this. Oh my gosh. Oh, so
you love me though. You love me though.
Hey, I always tell people I never know what you gonna say, so it's all good. You like what's the joint that Steve Harvey used to talk about, Sister Odell? You just a younger chipper. Yeah, that's all. You aspire Sister Odell. That's all it is.
Like, don't come to my family get-togethers. Like, just don't.
So, Denver, I'm struggling with this because Denver's lost Javonte Williams. Melvin Gordon can't seem to hold on to the football. Russ ain't been Russ since he got with Sierra. I don't know, man. He don't run no more. He don't. It's just weird. But the other problem is I see Indianapolis defense without their middle linebacker, Leonard. I think he's Darius. No. He's Shaq now because he want to be called Shaquille or whatever. So Shaquille, Darius Leonard, because Darius Leonard is the one everybody know, but we're going to call him Shaq because his mama called him Shaq, I guess. So he's missing. They do have a good corner in Kenny Moore. I think he plays the slot. He's pretty good. Their offense is missing Jonathan Taylor. I don't like any of their backs after that. So as you were doing this, your talk, Lady C, I was trying to find a coin so I could flip it. But I'm going to go Denver with the 3.5.
Because that's what it is. It's a total toss-up. Like, And
I'm going to take the under 41.5 as well. Because I don't see these two offenses being able to bust a grape. KG.
Yeah, you should watch the game like Kev, just spinning.
All day long. So I'm with y'all. This is a toss-up, and I gotta disagree with you, Midnight. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was you, Midnight, right? That said that Russ ain't been the same since he got with Sierra. No, he ain't been the same since he started twerking at gas stations on top of Hummers. That's when he lost. But
trust me, that wasn't the first time he's seen her twerk. So
no, but
hey,
that ain't what attracted him to him.
Exactly. You seen that other video?
Right.
No, my thing is she wasn't doing that before. She was, she had women saying, I want to do the Sierra prayer and get a man like Russell Wilson. But, Russell Wilson's a cornball in your eyes, but y'all want this man because he got money. So that's the type of man you want. But anyway, that's something different. But I need the real Russell Wilson to stand up. Please stand up. Because you got a prime opportunity to do something that only one other quarterback has done. And this quarterback did it in Denver. Lead a second team to the Super Bowl and win. Only one other quarterback has done that, and that's the great Peyton Manning, where he led 2 franchises to titles. Nobody else has ever done that. Russ got to stand up, but I'm going to go with Denver tonight. But Denver by 3. So they're not going to cover the 3.5. Denver by 3, and it's going to be under the 41.5. That's it, and that's all. So, final thoughts before we head on up out of here, and take our NyQuil and eat some chicken and watch this game and fall asleep or whatever people do on Snooze Fest night.
So, where, Lady C?
Yeah, nothing. Got hello.
Hi.
There you go. What's going on, man?
That's my
What up, cool?
Nothing much.
We're not paying you for this appearance.
You sure?
We sure?
I'm positive. We're not paying you for this.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't get paid. Free advertising.
Sorry, it's not in the
budget.
budget.
You got an agent, man.
He took off quick.
No, he in debt right now. He in debt.
Okay.
Yeah.
$4. Just $4.
Nothing. Go ahead. I got nothing.
That boy already owe me money.
Right, he owes me. I gave him life. He owes me first. You guys take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Just take it easy. I hope the guys take it easy. All the whole roster on every team. Definitely don't like to see people get hurt. Even though I love football because of the aggression. And I can kind of live vicariously through them to get out my frustrations. I kind of live vicariously. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. So I hope the guys definitely take care of themselves. That's all I got. Ben?
So I'm going to go ahead and throw my Thursday night. I normally post this at least once a year. I still have frustration with the Thursday night ball game not having some form of an expanded roster. So that way, because these guys have a short turnaround, you're not just focusing on, what is it? I think it's 47 active and 53 on the regular roster. I think you need to expand it to 60 and maybe make 53 active in some form or fashion. So that way these guys can heal, and you have a situation where you don't have a team that's punished because they have injuries or they have a rash of injuries in one ball game. So I'm going to put that as my final thought. The NFL needs to go back, think about it, not care, because it's once a week. You only have two franchises once a week play a 53-man roster, a full 53-man roster, instead of trying to cut it down with inactives. So player safety is the key. Let's make player safety the true key in this situation. Let's not make it lip service like it has been the last decade.
Agree with that. My final thought is thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for listening. I don't have anything poetic to say like they had. I'm just going to be honest. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the MLB playoffs. NBA starting back up. It's already getting chippy.
Don't forget, YouTube, all the other platforms that we're on. Don't forget to hit like. Don't forget to hit subscribe. While you're on Facebook watching, don't forget to hit like. We're coming back at you on Sunday. And what am I missing here? Am I missing anything?
Like, follow, share.
Yeah, and if you on fan base, we are now a part of fan base. So go follow us on there. We're gonna put some nice videos up on that thing. And we're going to get back to posting
that it's fan base and not only fans. Like, get it right. Fan base, not only fans.
Yes, fan base. I'm the only one that's on OnlyFans. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Only this show. Swear to God.
Like we always say at this time, we don't do no overtime. We are out of here.